last fight at 135. I sent up an offer to make the fight happen. I mean, Shakur could have been my he turned it down. He countered with 50% or whatever. We're not gonna get into deep into that, but he turned down the offer. A lot of these fighters don't want to fight. He's a guy who's very dangerous. A guy that a lot of these fighters duck. But a guy like me, Devin Haney, I'm taking on the toughest test. I want to fight the best fighters in the world and show them that I'm levels above them and that I am the best.
Better I am as a pro. How much more I've matured, in the pro career.
Devin Haney recently called Shakur Stevenson a weight bully during a live interview with Stephen A. Smith, adding even more tension to the rivalry that continues to grow between the two fighters.
Fighting at the top level for since I was 20 years old. I've been world champion since I was 20 years old. So, I'm fighting the best fighters in the world. I'm not ducking or dodging nobody. So it is no only 50%. I'm fighting the best fighters in the world. I'm not the guy that's fighting these guys that I could just go easily knock out. No, I'm making the biggest and the best fights happen.
Devin also explained why he believes this fight could have already happened. Speaking with Stephen A. Smith, he said that Shakur Stevenson could have been his final opponent at 135 pounds. According to Devin, an offer was made to get the fight done, but Shakur rejected it and later returned asking for a larger share of the money. Devin said he did not want to focus too much on the business details, but in his opinion, the chance was there and Shakur chose not to accept it. That is why Devin is now responding strongly to all the weight discussions. From his point of view, he already achieved everything he needed to at lightweight. He moved up in weight for a reason. Now, he does not want Shakur acting like Haney is the one causing issues. In Devin's view, the fight was available before, and since it did not happen then, he feels the responsibility should not fall on him today.
My body has matured. My body has, I've been at 135, but 30 fights now. It's unheard of. I did everything at 135, undisputed, defended it twice. Now it's time to move up to 140 and, come in as a challenger and become a champion at
Devin then raised another point that explains why this argument has become so intense. He said he does not agree with Shakur trying to set restrictions before the fight even happens. From Devin's perspective, requesting certain weight limits or rehydration conditions is a way of reducing his biggest advantages before they enter the ring. Devin says he is not a young fighter who can easily be talked into a bad agreement. He believes his talent is what got him to this level, not simply his size or physical attributes. So whenever Shakur brings up clauses, catchweights, or special conditions, Devin views it as an effort to weaken him instead of facing him on equal terms. That is one of the main reasons this matchup has become more personal. Both men are no longer only arguing about the fight itself. They are also arguing about what should be considered a fair fight.
I'm gonna handicap him of his best attributes. This is boxing. I'm not a novice fighter. I'm not a fighter that you can go in there and think you just gonna look for a lucky punch or look to land one big shot. And I will show him that my skills pay the bills, and I'm here at this level.
The discussion moved even further when Source of Boxing reported that Shakur Stevenson clearly stated he is willing to fight Devin Haney at a 144-pound catchweight. Devin Haney then asked, "If I come in at 144, do we have a fight?" Shakur Stevenson answered, "Yes." That brief exchange made the fight feel much more realistic. Devin asked the question directly, and Shakur responded without any hesitation. Now that the number 144 has been mentioned publicly, fans expect both sides to move beyond social media talk and start working toward a real agreement, because once a specific weight is discussed, the pressure becomes different. It is no longer just general talk about wanting the fight. Fans now want to know who is actually prepared to sign the contract. One fan tweeted, "Respect to Haney for actively trying to fight these guys while they avoid each other." That comment gave Devin credit for how he is handling things. While Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, and others continue debating weight, timing, and who truly wants the fight, Haney is getting praise for putting himself in the conversation with all of them. From that viewpoint, Devin is not sitting back or looking for easy fights. He is asking tough questions, chasing major matchups, and putting pressure on his opponents. Whether people support him or not, Haney is making it difficult for critics to claim he is avoiding challenges. Still, not everyone believes the fight is close to happening. One fan tweeted, "I'll believe it when I see it. Shakur will probably add a dehydration clause and ruin the deal." That reaction shows the doubt many fans still have about Haney versus Shakur. Even after Devin asked if 144 pounds would make the fight happen and Shakur agreed, some people think new conditions could appear later. The point being made is that Shakur may publicly accept the weight but could still request additional terms that make the negotiations more difficult. That is why the fight feels exciting but uncertain at the same time. The interest is there, the drama is there, and now the question is whether both sides can keep the deal simple enough to finally make it happen. Another fan increased the pressure on Shakur by posting, "I'm sure Shakur would go to 147 for Conor Benn. He's scared of Haney." That comment reflects how some fans view the entire 144-pound discussion. Even though Shakur agreed to fight Haney at 144, some believe he would be more flexible for another opponent like Conor Benn. From that perspective, if Shakur is willing to move higher for Benn but not fully meet Devin at 147, it creates the impression that he is avoiding Haney. Whether that opinion is fair or not, it shows the type of pressure building online. Every statement about weight, every tweet, and every condition is now being used to judge who truly wants the fight. While Haney versus Shakur remains the main topic, Nagy brought Keyshawn Davis into the discussion by tweeting, "Devin versus Keyshawn is the fight. It would be a fascinating clash of styles. If Devin beats Keyshawn, the Shakur fight becomes even bigger. If he loses, the matchup would still attract attention." That opinion makes sense because Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis already has its own storyline. Keyshawn has been calling Devin out, and Devin has already said he is open to the fight. Their styles are interesting as well. Devin is known for being disciplined, experienced, and strategic, while Keyshawn brings confidence, sharp skills, and determination. Nagy believes that if Devin defeats Keyshawn, a future fight with Shakur becomes even more valuable because he would have beaten someone connected to Shakur's circle. But even if Keyshawn wins, the Shakur fight remains relevant because the drama surrounding all of them would only continue growing. Floyd Schofield also joined the discussion and tweeted, "Twitter is all smoke and mirrors. This guy is scared to fight Devin. Lots of talk and no action." That message added even more pressure on Shakur Stevenson. As the Haney debate continues to heat up, Floyd is basically saying that Shakur talks a lot online but is not serious about making the fight happen. Calling him Twitter is a direct criticism, suggesting he is more active with words than actual action. Now that Devin has asked about 144 pounds and Shakur agreed, fans are watching closely to see if the fight moves forward or remains another social media discussion. Shakur also responded to criticism after saying he would fight Haney with a rehydration clause. That statement quickly became a major topic because fans started arguing over whether Shakur was being smart or simply making the deal more difficult.
Was mad over the rehydration clause in order for you to fight Devin Haney. When you made that comment, yeah, a lot of people was mad over that.
Yeah, it's crazy. They sit there and tell you like, oh, so other fighters had a rehydration clause and you had a problem with it. At that point of time, yeah, because at the end of the day, you fighting at a weight class that you fight at. If I'm at 135 or 140 and I put a rehydration clause on somebody when it's like, bro, I'm fighting at this weight already, that don't make sense. But I'm a 126 pounder. That's where I started at. Going up all the way to 147, and I'm not even a real 47. I'm nowhere near that. Like, the guys at 47, they walk around 25, 30 pounds bigger than me. If I'm going to fight them, just like you watch Conor Benn, nobody had a problem with Conor Benn.
From Shakur's perspective, he seems to believe that fair conditions are necessary if he is moving up to face a naturally larger fighter like Devin. However, critics view the situation differently. To them, adding extra clauses makes it appear as though he is creating obstacles before the agreement is even finalized. That is why opinions are so divided right now. Some people believe Shakur is protecting himself, while others think he is simply making excuses.
He whipped his ass. You could clearly see the fighter was dead. Nobody had a problem. They loved it. They sat there. Oh, Conor Benn is so great. He's so good. So if I say I'm going to fight Conor Benn at 147, but I want the same rehydration clause that he put on Eubank, What's the problem with that? Then they gonna say, oh, well, if you fight Conor Benn, you'll fight Devin Haney. So I'm like, I will fight Devin Haney. Give me the same that Conor Benn that I'm asking for with Conor Benn. That if they accept that, then, but it's like so many people just hate on me so much to where they want me to act like I'm contradicting myself. They want me to feel like.
That is exactly why the situation remains so intense at the moment. Shakur says he wants the fight. Devin says he is willing to come down to 144 pounds. But now the entire debate centers on whether the proposed terms are fair or whether they are just making the fight more complicated than necessary. The longer the discussion continues online, the more pressure both fighters face to stop talking and finally make the matchup official.
Ordinary, but no, I'm saying something that's facts, bro. This is not my weight class. I'm not moving up to 47. Y'all keep asking and begging for me to move up to 47. I told y'all I'll go there for Conor Benn, bro. That's what I told y'all. Other than that, why y'all even y'all just on my dick. That's how I look at it. People just be on my dick, like truthfully. Truly, like my walk, I came from 126. I don't know how people don't realize this. Like, I'm naturally little. There's a billion lightweights in the world that's way bigger than me. That's facts. And I'm fighting at 135 pounds. So it's like, it don't make sense.
Yeah, that's 2 weight classes up, yeah.
But I don't care. Like, I'm so skillful to where it's like, my real problem is, I did.
Keyshawn Davis then stepped into the conversation and strongly criticized Devin Haney, accusing him of targeting a smaller fighter in Shakur Stevenson. According to Keyshawn, Devin should feel embarrassed for expecting Shakur to move up and carry additional weight just to make the fight happen. He pointed out that Shakur began his professional career at 126 pounds, while Devin started at 135 pounds. In Keyshawn's view, that difference in size is important. He said he would never try to gain an advantage by putting a naturally smaller opponent in a difficult position. His comments added even more tension to the Haney versus Shakur debate because he was not only defending Shakur but also directly criticizing Devin's approach. That adds another layer to the story because Keyshawn is now becoming part of the rivalry himself. Whether the Haney fight happens with Shakur or not, Keyshawn has clearly inserted himself into the discussion.
Real shit. Talk about what really matters. Stop talking about people at 140, bro. He is at 140, bro. That nigga came from 126 at that. Devin, you started off at 135. Shakur started off his career at 126. And you want this nigga to come all the way to 144. My nigga. Like, my nigga, y'all are some hoes, for real. I would never. Shakur was a 126 world champion. 126! He is little as shit. Keep talking about 40. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta know who y'all just gotta know. These niggas.
Keyshawn then turned up the intensity even more by saying fans still have not seen what he is like when he is truly angry. He even mentioned the Nahir Albright incident, saying that after body slamming him, he was still smiling like someone who had just won the lottery. That was Keyshawn's way of saying there is a side of him that the public has not fully witnessed yet. But when talking about Devin Haney, Keyshawn said he does not feel the need to bully him or bring that type of energy because he believes Devin is already scared. He also encouraged fans and media members to ask Devin about his mandatory challenger situation, making it clear that he wants the spotlight placed directly on Haney. At this point, Keyshawn is not only speaking as a supporter of Shakur. He is also building his own argument for a future fight with Devin Haney.
You ever see me fight when I'm like, y'all never see me fight like angry, like y'all just see me slam somebody and start smiling. I smiled it off. Y'all ain't never actually really see me like get on that. I know we gotta get on that with light skin, cause he already scared. If you try to scare somebody that's already scared, that make you a bitch. Okay. Not even gonna do all that. Why do you think I won't do all that with Nair? You are an R&B singer. I'm not gonna do all that with you. I'm not just your ass. And that's what happened, right? Okay, cool. Y'all niggas is crazy. Y'all are crazy if y'all think anybody can beat me, but we talk about one light-skinned boy right now. We talking about one light skin right now. Just one. Mandatory. Let's talk about the mandatory. Let's talk about shit that actually matters. His mandatory. So next time y'all get out there on the public and use y'all Twitter fingers, talk about his mandatory. Talk about his mandatory. Don't talk about no other fighters. Other fighters don't matter. That shit doesn't matter. That's why a lot of stuff nowadays is bad for boxing, because stuff happened that shit never even happened.